All right, here we are. Good morning, everybody. So, welcome to our open house. So, here's what we are planning to do. This week, we just want to show you how we trade our own accounts, and this exactly how we also trade with our mastermind. And we thought it would be cool to just hang out. I see that the chat is already lighting up, so good to see everybody here. We'll see how many questions we can answer. We'll try to answer here as many as possible, of course, but our focus will be on trading. So, yeah, with that said, let's get started and let's actually show you what we are doing. I almost forgot to introduce you, but I think everybody knows you, right? I mean, so here, my head coach, Markus, you have seen him on Coffee with Markus, stock market update, so no surprise there. Yeah, we have been trading together for 15, 16 years, something like this, for a very, very long time. And yeah, so let me just show you what we are doing here. Shall we, Mark?
Sounds good, Marcus.
All right, I just need to bring you in here, and then there you are. Okay, so we just did the stock market update where we let you know of what is happening in the markets, overall, what the markets are focusing on today. And if you look at the futures, the E-mini S&P futures here, so that we get an idea of where we will open, it seems that we are opening slightly higher here. So if you look at the overnight trading, then we see, okay, at first we were dipping lower, but then steadily going up, but really not a whole lot. I mean, the E-mini S&P futures are up, 7 points. That's nothing. So we call this unchanged. Hopping over to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is up a little bit more this morning. And we'll see if this will hold up because, yeah, we have Facebook reporting after the bell, but up 0.3%, and the Dow pretty much like the S&P unchanged. So this is what we do going into the open. Here's what we do. I mean, first of all, we jump to the PowerX Optimizer, and this is the software that both Mark and I use, and we look for opportunities according to the PowerX strategy. So we want to make sure that we find stocks here that have actually performed nicely over the past 2 years with the PowerX strategy. Now, as you know, the PowerX strategy is using 3 indicators, RSI, MACD, and the stochastics to find the best trading opportunities here. And so what we do every morning is that we run the scanner because we want to know out of the 12,000 stocks that we have here in the scanner that are available to trade, which are good candidates for us according to the strategy. And again, every every strategy is different. So based on your strategy, you might get other stocks. But for us, if we look at it, we have 3 stocks that are actually popping up here: OPCH, Tilray, and ZG. And you see them up here on the scanner. And here's what we do every morning. We just look at these stocks and we want to see, okay, if we had traded OPCH over the past 2 years using the rules of the PowerX strategy. Oops, I'm just trying to zoom out here a little bit. There we go. Almost. There we go. Okay, so what we want to look at is if we had traded this stock, OPCH, according to the rules of the strategy, how would have our account changed? And this is where we see some basic numbers here, where you see, okay, so and I'm looking here at the quick trades for now. So over the past 2 years, we would have had 10 winning trades, 6 losing trades, so a total of 16 trades, which gives us a 62.5% winning percentage. We would have made $3,286, and this is for trading a $10,000 account here. And yeah, we would have had a profit factor of 4.46, which means that for every dollar that we lost, we made $4.46. So that looks pretty good, and we see a visual representation of that underneath the chart in the profit and loss graph. And here's what we are looking for. We want to see that this profit and loss graph is really nicely moving from the lower left to the upper right. And this is a stock that actually looks pretty good. Mark, what do you think?
I agree. You have some nice progression here with the P&L graph. So, it's showing cumulative profits and losses over time. And so we like to see that there is that increase, right? We know there can be losses in between wins, but we want to see that the P&L is increasing because as technical traders, we believe that there are repeating patterns in the markets that we believe we could take advantage of. And if this continues, that's exactly what we want. We want to see the equity curve increase. Right now, we have a nice signal, and for me, this is exactly what I'm looking for with the P&L graph.
Right. So we're looking at a total of four criteria, the P&L chart being the most important one. And if this doesn't look good, we're not checking any of the other criteria. But the second criteria here is what we call trendability. And we want to see that this stock is not erratically trading. We want to see that it is trading in nice small moves because we are short-term swing traders. So all we need here is a nice quick move to the upside or the downside. Mainly right now we are trading to the upside, and this looks actually really good in terms of the trendability. The third criteria is gappiness, and this is where we look for gaps. And now, of course, I'm drawing right over the chart here. So let's just see if there were any gaps over the past 2 years. And we see that there's a little gap there, one here, one here. But this is not too concerning. We're more concerned about large and huge gaps. And we'll see if we find an example for this here recently. And the third criteria, or the fourth actually, the fourth criteria that we are looking for is the $5 line, right? So we want to trade stocks that are trading above $5. Now, again, right now we are talking about the PowerX strategy. In a little bit, we'll switch gears to the wheel strategy, but both Mark and I are actually trading two strategies, and we are trading the PowerX and we also trade the wheel strategy. So here for OPCH, I would give this a green and say, yeah, let's trade this morning. Let's place a trade. So we'll see. Let's take a look at the next one, Tilray. And again, we want to look here at the P&L chart, and we see that the P&L chart, it's a little bit more erratic here because pretty much for, around 25% of the time, if we had traded this stock, we would have lost money. And we also see that it has been trading below $5 here. So I'm not the biggest fan of the P&L chart here. What are your thoughts?
Agreed. With the P&L graph, like you said at the beginning, it was a loser. Also, spending some time below $5, and even the chart just kind of erratic, where you had this real big swing that helped the P&L, but then since this big jump, it's kind of gone flat. So all in all, this isn't my favorite. I like how OPCH looks better if you're looking to compare the two.
Yeah, and I've been tracing it here just very loosely with my pen, and you see it is very, very erratic here. So Tilray, for me, that's not a company that I would trade according to the rules. It doesn't match our criteria or my criteria here. So ZG. Now ZG is a stock that we have been trading because the P&L looks really, really nice until recently. And this is when the P&L chart, the profit and loss, started declining. So this is where right now, I mean, it coincides a little bit with the stock going higher and the stock going lower, but this is really just coincidental. Usually it has nothing to do with it. But here, since the P&L chart has basically stopped a few months ago to grow, this is where I would say, no, it's not the chart that I'm looking for. Again, I'm looking for a chart that is going nicely up. So, Mark, what do you think about ZG? Is it also no for you?
It is a no for me. With it flatlining there, sometimes people will say, why don't you trade a stock continuously all the time through the year? And when we saw the P&L was going higher, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. But we don't feel that there's any need to continue to trade it if it's just underperforming. And we see here that even though there are buy signals that are triggering, there's just no follow through with the trend. So I don't want to keep trading something that has no follow through until it's been proven. Marcus, I saw a comment. Someone they're not seeing the same numbers for OPCH, and I just want to point out also that we're looking at long positions only. So when on at the top of the chart, we're showing long positions, not long and short. I believe that would be the difference there.
Yeah,
And
or you might have different exit strategies.
that's true. That's true.
So this could be another possibility. So somebody also asked, what about earnings? And yes, they are reporting earnings in 10 days from now. So this is what we are showing here. And if you see the data here, usually our average trade is only around 12 days. So there's a good chance, especially if we look in a moment here, we should probably do this at the quick trades and the conservative. So we'll explain this in a little bit here more of what exactly we did there. We see that usually for the conservative, on average, we should reach our first profit target here in 9 days. So this gives us actually plenty of time to reach our first profit target. So here in this case, I'm not too concerned. Now, as we get closer to earnings, we want to keep an eye on this. But at this point, this looks good to me. So we are 1.5 minutes away from the market's opening here, and we promise you that we'll trade live. So I want to actually place an order here for OPCH. So let me just quickly log in here. And let's see. I thought that I have my login. Okay. There we go. All right. Let's log into the brokerage here. And this is where right now it pre-fills. So this is one of the accounts that I have, and it pre-fills all the information for me. And I usually like to buy this on a stop limit. So let's change this to a stop limit and see what will happen here. So the stop limit that I want to use, Mark, what do you think? 26.55 or shall we go for 26.60?
26.55 works for me.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm hitting on preview here. 26.55. Yeah, let me actually, I somehow with my pen wrote something in there that it recognized as a dot. So all of this looks good. Let's hit submit. And the order is submitted successfully and is in the market right now. And we will open here in 30 seconds. So as you can see, I have a few other trades open here in this account. So one is FTAA, the other one is LEAC, and the third one is NVIDIA. And I know that we are going fairly fast here. So let me also open up the second account here, the Tastyworks account. But we'll see if we can actually answer a few questions here in a little bit. Right now, we want to stay focused on trading. I'm sure that this is okay with you. And then when we have time, we will switch over to questions. Okay, so let's see what is happening here on OPCH, where we have open, and then we switch over to to actually the wheel strategy. So let's take a look here and see where OPCH is trading this morning, switching back to a daily chart. So did we jump higher here this morning, Mark?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we got higher.
Okay. So OPCH here opened above our entry price, moved higher since I had a stop limit order at 26.55. I'm not filled yet on this one. So now that we see, okay, we opened here. Where did we actually open, Mark? This looks like close to $27.
27.06. Yep.
Yeah, 27.06. Okay, so let's see. As you can see right now, it is pulling back a little bit. We are at 26.62. Mark, what do you think? Want to adjust the stop limit order here, maybe to 26.70?
Your call. I think we're gonna pull back and fill this gap. So, but your call.
Yeah, let me switch to a 5-minute chart here. See, yeah, I wanna change this to 26.70. Let's just see if we can quickly adjust it here. Okay, modify. So since we opened higher, want to modify this and see if we are getting filled at 26.70. Right now it is trading at 26.76. So let's just see a few more minutes where this will trade. Moving higher, 26.85. 2678.
Tom got the low of the day perfect at 2660.
Wow,
That's the low right now.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, let's see what happens here over the next few minutes. And then we'll switch over to the wheel. I just want to make sure that we are also not missing this one. And we see that right now, the bid and the ask here, right? So we have the bid at 2676 and the ask is as 2688. So let's see where traders stepping in here right now and where they're pushing it. We're just sitting here at 2682, moving down now to 2676. Let's see. Mark, I might adjust this to 2680. So this way. So 2680, and here's why. We just modify this. See where we're trading. So we opened above our trigger price. So we opened, Mark, you saw an open of 27 something. Here it seems that we opened at 2660,
Oh,
but it
okay.
was above our price here. So this is where right now, as soon as we are hitting the trigger price, we want to make sure that we are getting into this trade. And where do I have it right now? At 2680, I believe. Yeah, okay. Let's keep an eye on this for a few minutes and then see what else is going on. It's a little bit all over the place. Okay, 84, 86. All right, I'm changing it to 85. Because I want to move on. Let's modify this. All right, let's see if we're getting filled. 2686. 2685. Let's see if this is my order that was filled. No, not yet. All right, 89, 88, 94. Mark, what are your thoughts?
Well, I actually traded the option. And I was filled on the option. So
Yeah, I'm considering doing that since we're a little bit all over the place. Is the option still available?
looks like it. Looks like it. I was filled at $3 and the suggested max entry is 304.
Yeah. Let's see, it was trading again at 85, not yet filled. So, okay. Let's maybe trade the option. Let's cancel this. Is it still there?
I think so. You might be able to get in at 305.
Okay. So I'm going to cancel the stock order so that I'm not getting filled on the stock and the option. So let's just make sure that this order is being canceled. Not yet.
Now it's 310 by 340.
Okay. So, and then we go back to the option. We see, okay, what option do we trade? 6 contracts here, and I'm going for this one. So let's see, the bid and ask is 310 over 340. So I'll try 305 here for the option, 6 option contracts. See if we can.
Yeah, bid ask was wide based on Friday, so the software showed the bid ask in red, but it looks like we're in about a 30-cent increment, and I think you might be able to get in at 305, Marcus.
Yeah.
And I am trading live account.
Yeah. So these are live accounts. These are not theoretical and woulda, coulda, shoulda. So this here, as you can see, is a smaller account. So this account here, as you can see, PXO, small account, that's around Started it with $20,000. Don't know exactly where it is right now. Probably around $22,000. And yeah, so let's see what is happening here. We're pulling back a little bit. So we switched from trading the stock to the option because it doesn't really matter, right? I mean, you can trade the stock or the option. This is where PowerX Optimizer tells you, okay, either you buy 370 shares, 2668, or you buy 6 options at a max entry of 304, but I think 305 is still fine. Yeah, and it was showing, Mark, you said it, the bid and ask was pretty wide. It has tightened up a little bit, and if we can get the
Yep.
305 here, we'll be fine. Okay, so let's go back to this dashboard. This order has been canceled. So let me just make sure. I was almost certain that this order was canceled. Oh yeah, it is. And okay, I'm filled. I'm filled at $3 on the option. So that's good. Okay, perfect. So we do have the option. Here's something that I like to do for myself. I now like to add this to actually my watch list in both TradingView right here and the PowerX Optimizer. So on the PowerX Optimizer, see that right up here, I can now add this to my watch list, which I'm doing with this plus. Boom, there we go. Add to watch list. And now if I'm going to my watch list, I see the 4 stocks that I'm currently in, which is FTIA, FTAI, there we go, LAC, NVDA, and OPCH. Good. So, Mark, shall we jump over to the wheel, or shall we just set the alerts here for the exit?
You know, I think that if you look at the wheel, it's going to be real quick, so it's up to you. Either way, there's not much going on the wheel, so we could hold off or we could just show that there's not much going on.
Okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's jump over to the wheel. So now, again, we have to mentally start shifting gears, and here's why. We're shifting from one strategy, the PowerX Analyzer, to another one, which is the wheel. So the wheel is a different trading strategy. With the wheel, we are looking for stocks that, well, they don't necessarily have to go higher. All they need to do is either move sideways, move a little bit higher, or they could even move a little bit lower. And when trading the wheel, we'll leave something here in the description where you can watch a video, or if you want, if you prefer reading books. So we also have here this book on the wheel strategy, and there's another one on the PowerX strategy. So if you would like to rather read than watch videos, we'll leave a link in the description. We'll be happy to send you these books if you cover the shipping and handling, which is $4.95. And then we'll send you a book. As you can see, it's a nice hardcover if you prefer reading over watching videos. Otherwise, we leave some links in the description to the videos where you can learn more about the strategies. Now, the most important thing here when looking at the wheel strategy is, number one, do you want to own this stock? And number two, do you want to own it at the strike price? So the idea here with the wheel strategy is, number one, we are selling puts and collect premium. Number two, we might or might not get assigned. And when we are assigned, meaning that now we own the stock. Number three, now we would sell calls and collect premium. This is the idea. But as you can see, we could get assigned, meaning that we could own the stock. So we need to make sure that we are okay owning the stock. And here the first one that pops up is actually Dust. Oh, now we have a slightly different list because the list refreshes every 2 minutes. So let's go through this.
Marcus,
Yep.
do you want to switch to just this Friday's expiration, or do you want to go through
Oh
all?
yeah, I'll do that. That's a good idea. So we have filters here, and right now we are seeing expirations for this Friday and the next Friday. So this is what the software does. Actually, you know what? Let me just come back to you. For those of you who don't have the software just yet, would you like to get the software for a few days so that you can follow along while we are doing this here? Would that be okay? If you would like to have the software for the next few days to follow along, give me a click like here really quick. So don't type it in the chat because then it gets super, super cluttered. But do a like because here's what the team has prepared. If you would like to have the software and follow along, we do have an offer right now, something that we have never done, where you can get the software for the next 10 days for $1. And you see the link is rockwelltrading.com/trial. No strings attached. There's no auto renewal or anything crazy like this. So you can have it for the next 10 days. This means you can trade with it this week, where we do it together, and you can trade with it next week on your own if you choose to do so. At the end of your trial, we will ask you, would you like to continue or not? I said no strings attached. There's no auto bill. If you would like to keep the software because you say, it's pretty cool, because we believe that this is a really cool software, then there will be a special offer for you. And if you say, well, the 10 days was nice and I'm done, I don't need it, that's cool too. No worries. So I'll leave the link up there so you can go there and then you can follow along. This way, it might make sense. Okay, so the expiration that that Mark was mentioning. So we do have this week's expiration, next week's expiration. Now today is Monday, October 25th. So we should have actually more than enough candidates for this Friday's expiration for the October 29th. So I'm choosing this as a filter because this way I'm limiting a little bit the stocks that are popping up here on the list. All right, so let's go through the list. The first one here is Billy. Billy. Mark, what do you think about this one? Do you want to own Billy?
So, Billy, this is not one that I've been too excited about, and uh, so I don't want to own it. It's gone on this wild ride from late last year, $45 up to 150, quick pull back, and then another rally up to 130. This one's just all over the place. I feel that at any time it could drop $20, right? That to me isn't a good wheel trade. I'm looking for something that's a little more consistent, something that I want to own, and something that I feel is trading in a more predictable manner. So this one isn't for me. And when I go to the step two, it makes it even easier.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at this, it has been moving crazy. It helps to zoom out here, where it goes from $10 to $160 and then pull back. So also for me, this would be a no. Now I want to quickly address something. So one of the questions is, why $1? Well, very easy. This way, we know who you are because we want to avoid that you take a trial over and over and over again. And so this is right. You know the trick with brokerages, right? If you want to have a demo account and then the trial expires and then you just simply use a new email address. Well, now we have your name because it has to be on the credit card. And this is simply how we want to make sure that this is fair here. I mean, I hope that is okay. So that's why there is the $, so that we can verify your name, that you're not giving us some weird email addresses. Anyhow. So let's talk about Baba. I mean, Alibaba, usually a good, solid company. Do I want to own it right now? No. I need to switch to red here. And here's why. It's a Chinese company, and you know that China right now has been crazy um, because they started regulating, I don't know, a whole bunch of companies, and they started attacking Alibaba. And so we have to be super, super careful here. I think they have their Singles Day coming up, right, Mark? Have you heard about this? Which is,
I Yeah, I know of Singles Day. It's huge for sales, but I'm not sure when it's coming.
yeah. So this would be a no. Futu Holdings, another company. I don't want to have this in my portfolio. Look at this, going from what, $5 to $200, going all the way back to 68. So that for me is a no. And you see, this where it's personal preference. You might actually say, oh my gosh, Alibaba is the best company in the world. I want to own Alibaba shares, which is fine. You might say, oh my gosh, I love Futu. Futu is the best. I want to own Futu shares. I don't. I don't. And this is why we display all of them on the scanner, because you might have a different opinion. You might know the company better. Novavax. I mean, they're providing vaccines. They've been working on a COVID vaccine, and the FDA said, well, we're not very happy with the results that you're showing. So this is in the biotech area. And so this has been super crazy. Biotechs always can move wild. I think this when they announced we enter the COVID race and we have something, and then the stock went from what 140 to 340, and then they said, "Oh, we're not ready yet." And yes, it's looking good, and no, it doesn't. Or yeah, we're almost there with it. We're getting approval, and the FDA says, "No, you're not getting approval," and this is just crazy. So I do not like Novavax. In fact, I do a never here on this one. That would be a never. What do you think?
I agree, Marcus. I've actually I've black flagged a few of these that we've looked at just so I don't have to keep looking at them.
Yeah.
So NVAX is a no for me.
Let me quickly check. So it seems that the link is not really working. What is the right link here? Are you guys fixing it?
The
I think the
the one
guys are fixing
Jared
it, but
shared.
I'm going to remove this for a moment until we know that it is uh, it is working, and then I'll display the link again. So team, if you can work in the background and then just let me know what link we should use here. Sorry about this. I was almost certain that we tested this. Apparently we didn't. Oops.
Marcus, the link that Jared shared is working.
Okay, which one is it? I need a
The
short link.
tiny.cc 1LNKUZ.
Yeah, I don't want to use this. Nobody can type this here. Can
Okay,
I, team? Can you give me a link that somebody can type in
I
and just
gotcha.
let me know? Okay, good. Let's move on here. So let's talk about Coop. Coupa Software. This for me is another wild one. I don't know much about them. I don't want to own them. Do you?
Yeah, I made some money on this one, Marcus, but I agree. This was a time when it was before they had an analyst day, and it looked like it was trading in a more orderly way, and it had this just huge move. And since then, it's been trading in these huge ranges from like 210 up to 270. It's a software company. I looked into it a little bit more, traded it more on the technicals at first, to be honest, and because of these bigger swings, I'm just not a fan. So I'm not trading it right now.
All right. Yeah. Same for me here. That would be a no. And you see, often that's where you just go through the list. You flag it, and it's more about deselection, right? I mean,
Yep.
just wait for the right stocks to pop up here. So Roblox, and what we can do is we can sort it by flag. So here's what I'm doing, because this way I see all the stocks, the three that I haven't flagged yet, and I can look at those. So okay, Roblox. Well, there's a company that just recently started trading. See, we don't have much data just yet. It started trading in March 2021 and has been going from 64 to $100. I mean, this year looks like it'll give me a heart attack. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, and we've been yeah, a few of our mastermind members have said, you know what, I like this company and I've traded it successfully. A few others have said, no, I don't like it. It's I think a platform that for kids, they don't like their kids using it. I don't really have an opinion one way or another on the company, so I don't really want to own it. And like you said, Marcus, it's kind of been all over. And the strike that's coming up is 78, which to me is just way too high.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? We have Snap. Wow. I mean, this week I definitely want to stay away from social media. You
Yeah,
might see
that's
it
just
right
too
now.
bad.
I mean, Snap right now, the current price is 54.48. I mean, it has been trading at 76. Then they reported earnings last week and a huge, huge miss. And they also provided some guidance where they say, you know what? This new Apple iOS update, that's crazy. It's really hindering our possibility to make money, and advertisers are spending less money. And I mean, this is ad revenue that Snap is thriving on, as well as Facebook and Twitter. They don't have any other revenue sources. They don't have a premium service that you can sign up for, right? So it's all depending on advertisers, and advertisers right now are pulling back. So this, for me, is a no. We have traded Snap in the past.
Yeah, we have. And this one's it's a little unfortunate, Marcus, because I love Snap at that 49.51 range. You see, if you look back this year, going back to January and February, even May, you have these bottoms there between 49 and 51 bucks. That to me is just really solid support. But here we have an event, we have news that's being digested, and just getting hammered today, down 27%. I don't want to try to catch a falling knife here and hope that support holds. If it was a smaller gap down and it wasn't, so there wasn't so much uncertainty over this one, I would have been a little more interested. But this is a no for me, just because there's too much uncertainty around it.
Yeah. And I see that there's a few questions asking what filter I have on. This where I say I just want to look for this week's expiration. So I don't want to go for the November 5th expiration. I just want to go for this week's expiration. No other filters. Because today is Monday, we have plenty of time for this week's expiration, as you can see. All right. Well, let's just see what are the overall markets doing here. So overall, the markets are
Nothing.
doing nothing. So here's a
That, that
5-minute chart of the S&P 500. So we opened higher, we pulled back, and right now we are pretty much unchanged where we were on Friday. The same for the Dow. This is what the Dow Jones looks like. So this is where we opened, pushed a little bit higher, now pulling back, and we are right now where we were on Friday. And even the NASDAQ that was up earlier. So the NASDAQ opened higher and then pulled back, and we are trading right now pretty much around the level where we were on Friday. So I'm not
hey,
surprised that we don't have much popping up here.
Marcus, there was a question. No, I agree. Sorry to interrupt, but does the software work on a Mac?
Oh yeah, I mean right now I'm using an iPad Pro. So I mean all you need is a browser. Yeah, so it's running in a browser, therefore it doesn't make many. It doesn't it doesn't need a Mac or PC. There we go. All right.
Perfect.
So let's see. Sophie, we have Sophie popping up here. SoFi, another crazy stock, right? So a little bit all over the place, starting at $10, going up all the way to $28, pushing all the way down to 14, going back up to 25, back to 14, now up to 20. So this for me is a no. No, thank you. Okay, let's see. So the team has changed the link. Sorry about this. So the link right now is rockwelltrading.com/1010. So if you go to rockwelltrading.com/1010, it should be good. Perfect. We're good here. Yeah, and my bad. I mean, I thought it was trial. I was wrong. I added it this morning. This morning was early. All right. So not a whole lot. We have another 26 seconds until the scanner refreshes here. Usually you will see that in general, let's talk about this for a moment. In order to sell puts and collect premium, you want the overall market to be down, because when the market or the stock is down, you will get more premium for puts. When you want to sell calls, you want the overall market to be up, because this way you're getting more premium for your calls. So what do we have right now? Right now, what we have is a market that is doing nothing. And that is okay. Because one of the most important things that I've learned in my trading career is when the markets are not ready for you, sit on your hands. See, that's super important. In order to succeed in trading, two conditions have to be met. You have to be ready, And I mean, we're ready. We're ready, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We are sitting here. We are having our software up. We are having our broker platform up. We are ready to place the trades. But number two, the markets have to be ready. And if you look at this right now, where the market is doing a whole bunch of nothing, this is where also you should not force trades. Okay. So, but let's just keep watching if there's anything else popping up here right now on the wheel scanner, and then we can answer probably a few more questions. No, I don't see anything. I think one of the questions that I saw, uh, did you remove the possibility to add your own lines here? And yes, we did temporarily because it didn't save it anyhow. So right now, this is version 2.51 that you're seeing here. In version 2.7, we will allow you to draw lines on the chart that are being saved, to have text annotations on the chart that is being saved, and probably also add other indicators. So right now, what happened is that as soon as you draw some lines here and then switch to another chart, it was gone. And if you got back to Alibaba, the lines were gone. So therefore, we thought it doesn't make sense anyhow, and we are working on this. This will be in version 2.7 that is coming up here. Okay, cool. So what other questions did we have?
Well,
Yeah,
Marcus,
Larry said it. It's diddling around.
Marcus, there was a question about joy, and I think that this is a good one to take a look at because the question is, can you check joy from the aggressive tab?
Oh, okay, we can
So
go to the aggressive tab.
two things here. It's actually on the conservative right now,
Okay.
but I think it's worth taking a look at. One, Marcus and I, we really don't use the aggressive tab. We focus on the conservative. And I would just be cautious. I would encourage traders to be cautious, trying to be too aggressive when there aren't opportunities, right? The markets are doing nothing right now. In fact, we're slightly higher, which doesn't make for the best wheel morning. And what I would rather do is wait for an opportunity when it's really easy to trade the wheel. If we get a down day this week, it's going to be so easy to make some good picks. So I don't need to force anything and really try to desperately find a trade when the markets just are telling us there isn't anything to trade. With that said, with Joy, first question, do you want to own Joy? Marcus, do you want to own Joy?
No, I don't want to own Joy. I mean, for several reasons. I mean, first of all, it's another wild stock that's going from $60 to what, $150, plunging all the way down. But most importantly, it is another Chinese stock. So this is where you can simply just click on this and you see it's a social media platform. Oops. I think I was something was popping up for me while I was doing this, but so let's go back here to Joy. It's a social media platform. I should not zoom in. It is okay. It is okay. Out of China, and this is where we're going back to. Chinese stocks are crazy right now. I mean, you know that the Chinese government. When did they start? Was it in June or July? They suddenly started regulating companies. I mean, they
Yeah,
just
like crazy.
randomly said, "Oh, you company are not allowed to do this anymore." For example, they have the Uber of China, a rideshare app, and they said, "Hey, you are not allowed to accept new customers because there's privacy concerns." And the company said, "What? What are you talking about?" And so this is where they have been doing it with Alibaba and I mean a bunch of other companies. They even told education companies, "You know what? We believe education should be free. So right now, you as an education company become a nonprofit. Congratulations, you won." It's like, what? So you want to stay away from this as long as China is just going crazy because it almost feels that there's somebody doing this and saying, okay, boom, we target you right now. And that doesn't
Yeah,
sound good.
too much unpredictability, and I don't want to own this stock, so I would not sell puts on it.
Agreed. Cool. All right. Well, we can actually see what our other other PowerX trades are doing. So let's actually go to FTAI. Want to go to the chart. because we now do have live data. So this is the blue bar, and it seems that FTAI today also moving a little bit higher. So that is good. We are in good shape with this one. So we just let this pan out and can just show our targets where we have them. So the first target is at 28.69, and then we have another target. So we still have ways to go. Not a whole lot happening here, which is okay. We can take a look at LAC, see what this stock does. So LAC today nicely up, nice, very nice. So Friday, on Friday we closed around 25 right here, and right now this morning we are up at what 25.89. So this is looking good. And yes, the last bar is a blue bar because it's live data. And yeah, we don't know yet whether at the end of the day it will be. Oh, Mark, why didn't anybody tell me that I'm not sharing my screen?
Shoot, I was looking at
I
my
know.
charts.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we got this. All right. So FTIA, yeah, again, doing really nice here, moving higher. LAC moving higher. So that's what we want to see. So that's good. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA pulling a little bit back for today, but also moving higher overall. We are getting really close to our first profit target here, Mark. Our first profit target is at 232.34. That
Yeah,
looks,
earlier I thought we were gonna hit it.
it
We
looked
got
like,
up to
right?
231.59, but pulling back a little. That's working out nicely.
Yeah.
My on Nvidia, my calls are up 53%.
Nice, nice, good. And then OPCH, I mean, a little bit all over the place. So we opened higher here this morning. This is what we said. We opened at, let's actually quickly see. Let me just click on this bar. Oops. So that I see where we opened here this morning. Oops. There we go. Okay, so you see the open was 2706, moved as high as 2712, low 2660, which Tom got. Congratulations. And right now we're at 2686. So not a whole lot going on with this one, which is okay. Yeah, I mean, we plan to be in this for the next 9 days, so we don't have to check it every 9 minutes.
Marcus, do we want to look at exits on OPCH?
Sure, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. So, yeah,
Or wait, first, before we do that, why don't we look at options? Because we traded the option.
right.
So there was a question of how to decide if you are going to trade the stock or the option.
Oh, okay. You want to take this, and I'll just
Sure,
draw.
sure. So there were kind of two reasons today why we traded the options. First of all, the amount of buying power tying up this trade, it's not a big deal for most accounts, but here the account size is 20,000. The settings that we're using, right? We're just using a default $20,000 account for PowerX trades, risking 2%, which is 400. And the suggested number of shares based on the stop loss meant that the buying power was $9,700, $9,800. Let's just round up. So that's a decent amount of buying power. If you're using a margin account and you are using potentially $40,000, then that's a little easier buying power wise or position size wise. But it's tying up a decent amount of buying power. So when you trade options, you can trade the options and tie up a lot less. And looking at options, six contract tracks for the equivalent risk at $3, let's say, you're looking at $1,800 in buying power rather than almost the 10,000. So here, I think that if you are concerned about the higher buying power and trying to manage five positions at a time, options makes it easier. The only concern with the option was the bid ask spread, but we looked at it today. And in live markets, it was closer to a 10-cent, 30-cent spread rather than the 70-cent spread that we had on Friday. The other thing that I do is I compare the risk reward on the option to the risk reward on the stock. And so with the risk reward on the stock, for quick trades, we were looking at a 1 to 3 risk reward. And on the option, we're looking at a 1 to 3.64. So a slightly better risk reward on the option. So that's why when I pulled it up, I saw the bid ask was tight and I could get less than 304. I decided to trade the option instead of the stock. Marcus was starting with the stock. He was trying to get into the stock, and it was harder to get in at the signal price. And so he decided to take another look at the option.
Yep. So super easy, super simple. Cool. All right. Let's
So
see.
exits.
Yeah. Sorry, you wanted to take another question?
No, do you want to look at exits?
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. Let's take a look at exits here. So, I mean, entering is one thing. So now we entered this stock. Now we entered the option. So the question is, what exit would make sense? And we're presenting you 6 different scenarios here. We're presenting you an exit with a risk reward ratio of 1.5 and 3. So normalized, this would be 1 to 2. And that's conservative. And we give you all the numbers that you saw earlier, where you see, okay, based on a $10,000 account, if you had traded this over the past year, you would have made $1,700, an ROI of 22%, a winning percentage of 62%, and a profit factor of 2.83. And when you see quick trades, you see, oh, okay, quick trades, I would have made an ROI of 41%, return on investment, a total of $3,286. Same entry, just a matter of exiting. And then we also have the same winning percentage, 62.50. So that's good. And we have also the aggressive exit strategy here, where we go for a risk reward ratio of 1 to 5. And we see that we could have made $3,600, ROI of 46%, same winning percentage. So for me, that is fairly easy. I would say, okay, let's actually go for quick trades and aggressive. I should probably circle it. So this would be the exits that I'm looking for. Now, as I do, I can pin these right here so that I see them on the chart. So let me just go back there. Let me pin those. And now I see, okay, someone duplicated something. There we go. Easier, better. I'll move this a bit lower here. And I am on OPCH, just making sure that I'm not trading another stock. There we go. We see here are the 2 planned exits. Now, since I have traded the option, I want to make sure that the stock is reaching these exits. So, and as soon as the stock is reaching the exits, I want to exit the option. And in version 2.9 of PowerX Optimizer, we will have alerts. For now, we will use TradingView alerts. But before we do this, Mark, any other comments regarding the exits?
No.
Okay.
I do want to clarify. Someone was asking if we are selling or buying the option. I could see the confusion if you've been following along with the wheel. With PowerX, we're buying the option because we are trading a buy signal, and we could either buy shares of the stock or we could buy a call, which will let us participate in the trend.
Yeah. All right. So the 2 exits here are 29.72 and 31.88. So for now, I'm setting them on TradingView. And here's how I do this. I simply click on alerts. And I want to look for the first value. And the first value was 29.72. So 29.72. I usually like to choose the expiration date that coincides with the expiration date of the option. And so you see the expiration date of the option is December 17th. So going back here, because I could be in the trade for a little bit longer, and I want to make sure that this doesn't expire the alert before before the options expire. And so I like to put a note in here that tells me what am I supposed to do. And this says first profit. Let me zoom in a little bit. So first profit target hit. And then I say sell the call option that I bought. Okay. Now, since I'm lazy, I'm already copying this because I know that I will write this for the second one here as well. So I'm going to create and I'm going back, set another alert. So here the second alert goes for, let's go back to the chart, 3188. 3188. Okay. So putting this here, 3188. Again, I'm choosing December 17th. And then I'm pasting because I'm so lazy. And I just changed the first profit target to second profit target. I create, and now I have these two profit targets already here. Now we also have to worry about the stop loss. So what if this stock moves against us and we see that the stop loss is at 25.40? So when we have the stop loss, well, we want to make sure that we are exiting the option here. And this is where we go back here, set an alert. So now, what did I say? 25.40. 25.40. And again, we're choosing the expiration date here. And then here I say, okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Stop loss hit, which means sell the call option. Good. And I hit create. And now I have the alerts here. And as said, we will have alerts here on PowerX Optimizer soon. For now, I'm choosing these on TradingView. You can set it in your brokerage account. Doesn't really matter where you do this. All right, cool. Back to PowerX Optimizer. So here's the deal. Right now we are an hour into this session here. I believe we're exactly an hour into the session. And see, not a whole lot is changing on the wheel. And this is what I often realized, that if there's nothing to trade in the first hour, might as well call it a day. Yes, you can keep staring here at this, and you can just wait to see if every 2 minutes something else is popping up. But I found this really counterproductive. I found it more productive to say, all right, today, not much to trade. So therefore, we can just call it a day, come back tomorrow. Because let's take a look at what the indices are doing. I'm looking here at a 5-minute chart of the S&P. I think it's option R. And we see that thus far for today, the S&P 500 hasn't done anything. The NASDAQ hasn't done anything. The Dow hasn't done anything. So not a whole lot going on. So thus far for today, only one trade. And the one trade that we did was according to the PowerX strategy. It was the OPCH option that we traded. And well, we'll figure out what happens here over the next few days. Good. Mark, and let me ask the team. I know that the team is also trying here to answer as many questions as possible. I know that some of our mastermind members are on here helping answering questions. Really appreciate that. Are there any questions, Mark, that you saw that we should address right now? I mean, we'll be trading together here if you want for the next 4 days. So today is only day one. So we'll have many, many more scenarios that we can go through over the next few days. So let me just also make sure that I explain exactly what happens. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we always trade live with our mastermind members. So tomorrow, Mark and I will trade live with our mastermind members, and you can peek in. So tomorrow, we will use a private Zoom link that we will dual broadcast here to YouTube. So you can watch it, but tomorrow, we will not look at your questions wherever they are right now, because we will focus on trading with the mastermind. On Wednesday, we'll be back here where we can actually take a look at your questions and yeah, answer more of them. And then on Thursday, we do the same thing, that we are trading live with our mastermind. We are focused on them. You can look over our shoulder. And that's how this week will go. As I said, we have never ever done this. This is the first time ever. So we thought that we try it out and see if you're enjoying it. By the way, if you're enjoying this, please click on like, because then here's the deal. I always look at the like to viewer ratio. What does this mean? I see how many have viewed here, and right now I see that we have around 900 people on. And then I look at the likes. How many of you are liking what we are doing? And based on this ratio, we decide whether you like it and you wanted us to do this again, or if you say, nah, really don't like it too much, and if you don't like it, we will not do it again. So it's super easy here. And that's what we'll do here over the next few days. And yes, of course, this is being recorded, this YouTube. It'll live on the YouTubes here for too long, forever, basically. All right. Mark, what do you say? Let's wrap it up for the day, and then we'll be back here tomorrow with you.
That sounds great. I know some people had some questions about the trial and things like that. I believe links were shared, but you could always reach out to support@rockwelltrading.com, and someone from our team, or call or text,
Yeah,
and someone from our team will help you out.
there we go. Sorry to put it right over you, but just call support@rockwelltrading.com and we will be fine.
Uh,
I know. All right. Well, see you guys tomorrow. Hope that you enjoyed it. And if there's nothing to trade, there's nothing to trade. Anyhow, take care.
Take care, everybody.